have a second generation Odyssey where your second row seat won't come out, you pull this handle right here, try to lift up the back, and nothing happens. There's two cables that run from this latch down to two locks on either side of the rear of the seat. And what has happened is one of those cables has come undone. So keep watching and I'll show you. Okay, now the first thing you're going to do is use this handle right here to recline the seat as far forward as it'll possibly go. Next, you find the bar underneath the seat at the front, this one, to slide your seat all the way forward as far as it'll go. For your tools, you're going to need a T50 Torx bit or star bit where the end looks like that. You're going to need a ratchet that fits the size, whether it be 3/8 or 1/4 inch, and some various prying tools. I'm going to use this flathead screwdriver, maybe even this little tiny pry bar here. On the rear of the seat, underneath it, you're going to see two T50 bolts on this side, and then likewise on this side there's two more. So depending on which side of yours will not release, you may have to take off just one side or possibly both sides to fix the problem. So first step we're going to do is take out these two T50 bolts. These bolts may be a bit tight. As you can see, they have, looks like blue Loctite on them from the factory, so you may need to get an extension on your ratchet to have better leverage. Alright, that's the second bolt, and on my application, only this side is not releasing, so I'm not going to bother with touching the inboard side. Grab the release handle, hold the back of the chair, lift the chair up, which will release it from its connections. What you're left with is the innards of the latch that holds the chair itself to the van. So once you get here, you're going to pull back on this handle right here and then lift up, and now your latch has come free. With the seat out of the van and flipped upside down, we have much better access to find out what our problem is. So you can see that here's the latch that you pull to loosen the seat. It has two cables. One runs to this side here, the other one runs to this side in here. On the inside, you'll see this cable end, and mine is broken. There should be a little ball on the end of that stud right there where the green paint is. Mine is broken off, which is why the latch does not stay inside this little hole. So we have to fix that. To get to that, you're going to need some sort of prying tool. I use a flathead screwdriver. You're also going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. If you look in here, there's going to be a Phillips head bolt here. You want to take that out. And if you pull the latch back right here, there's another Phillips head bolt right there, and that one also has to come out. With that out, you should be able to have some room in this panel. Next, you're going to take your flathead screwdriver. On the front here, you have a plastic clip. That's going to get popped out. On the inside of the track here, you're going to have another plastic clip. That also needs to get popped out. You can also just pull on it from this side to pop it out. Now, this piece, which blocks access to the cable, is now completely loose, and we can jiggle it and wiggle it out of there, and now we have total access to our problem. Alright, so I went to my local big box store and I picked up a package of 20-pound number 2 picture wire. And I also got a 2-pack of ferrules and stops. These are 1/16 inch. So first steps I'm going to do is I'm going to take this end of the factory cable I'm going to snip it off. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is cut the end off the factory wire, which is right here. Next, you want to insert the ferrule onto the factory wire. Go down about 1 inch. Then we're going to take one end of our new wire, stick it into the other end of the ferrule, and we are going to clamp this tight. So now after clamping, it's looking like that. Next, we take our second ferrule, stick it onto the factory wire. We're going to take our new wire, run it around, and then stick it back into that ferrule and then crimp it down. So it ends up looking like this. Alright, I found it easier to crimp the second ferrule by unbolting the latch from the seat itself. There just wasn't enough room in there to get the pliers in there to get that ferrule crimped down. If I had the proper set of ferrule crimping pliers, it would probably be easier, but didn't have those, so this is what we got. So I unbolted this. That gives you plenty of slack in the line to come over here, get these electrical crimpers onto the second ferrule just like that. You want to make sure you're kind of pulling some tension on the factory wire, not so much that it's moving the latch, but pull it taut and then crimp your last ferrule. Then, when both ferrules are crimped good, you can go ahead and remove your excess piano wire here, or steel wire. Put this down. Cut off the extra, and that's what you're left with. Left with the factory wire coming into a ferrule. The other end of that ferrule has the piece of the new wire, which wraps through the hole there in the lever, and then the running end of that cable goes into the second ferrule. Everything is crimped, nice and tight. You can give it the pull test. I'm pulling on it pretty hard right now and it's not budging, so it's going to be just fine to be installed back in the seat just like this. Installation is the exact opposite of taking it apart. So you take your two T50s, insert them from the back here. Make sure you start threading with your fingers. Then get your T50 tool. Get those snugged up. Then you can test your fitting modification that you did. Everything looks like it's going to work just fine. So, take this trim piece, put it back on. This piece just gets worked on. It's got the two metal clips here on the end, which just snap into their holes. Like so. Make sure everything's lined up here. And then you got your two plastic pieces. The one gets inserted back into that front hole. Second one is going back in this hole right here. Got the 2 Phillips head screws from earlier. One is going back in this hole. And for your second one, you're going to move this handle, exposing the hole. Screw in the screw, and this seat is ready to go back in. So now with the seat back in the Odyssey, we can test if it works. So we're going to pull the latch, pull up on the rear, and just like that. The seat now comes out whenever you want it to. Thanks for watching.